My name is Minjiba Cookie. I am the General Marketing Assistant for Penguin Books, and I work across both the literary and the commercial imprints. I saw the Pearson Diversity Internship, and I didn't exactly know who Pearson were. I mean, it sounded familiar, but I didn't know exactly who they were. But then under that, I saw all these familiar brands like Penguin and the FT, and I didn't actually believe that they were doing an internship. It sounded really, it sounded too good to be true.
It's a program that started 5 years ago because obviously one of the things that's driven our diversity work in Penguin and in Pearson is the realisation that we simply don't have enough people working in the industry and in our own company from diverse ethnic backgrounds. And we found that the usual entry routes for people like coming to do work experience really didn't work for a lot of people because very few people can afford to live in London and work unpaid for 5 or 6 weeks at a time. So 5 years ago, Pearson decided that it would fund across its different companies a scheme which brought in graduates or people in their last year at university to work on specific projects with specific managers, properly paid. And it's been an absolutely brilliant scheme for Penguin.
My name's Joseph Smythe and I'm employed by Pearson Education. I was with BBC Active for my 6 weeks in the internship programme, and then after that I did some work experience with them, and then after that I was employed part-time, so I'm still in Pearson Education. And then I kept my contacts throughout that year, and made sure that if ever anything came up I would be the first to know.
The Windsor Fellowship got in touch with Pearson, and we had been talking for some time, and we were kind of talking about the Pearson internship program. Where the Windsor Fellowship really got involved was by getting graduates from the Windsor Fellowship program informed about the Pearson internship program and actually onto the internship program.
My name is Zara Kinola, and I've been on the Pearson summer internship scheme for the Financial Times. I first came across it a couple of years ago. This was in my second year of university. It was advertised on the careers website. I decided not to apply to it then, probably unwisely, simply because I thought it was a bit too much of a long shot, given the name of the Financial Times.
I think it's generally felt within publishing that Pearson and Penguin have really taken the lead on diversity issues, and a lot of other companies have looked to us for leadership on the issue, because I think they're also aware that publishing is still much too white an industry.
Minority groups in general are very used to being lectured at, and that's often organisations ticking their CSR and diversity boxes. And what I found with Pearson was that they went far beyond that. It wasn't about ticking boxes. It's to nurture talent through leadership and development programs to try and help create future leaders.
It was just the sort of edge that you need when you start a career. It's the experience, the knowledge of the industry.
Having the opportunity to work in a place like this is invaluable, because after something like this you go anywhere and you say, I worked at the Financial Times, people are going to look at you differently. I mean, I've been surprised at how surprisingly quickly opportunities open up once you get the proverbial foot inside the door.
The factor is that it got me a job in the end of the day in publishing, and a job which couldn't have come at a better time. I'd found out my wife was pregnant a few months before, so I was just finishing my dissertation when I found out. Probably
the Pearson scheme is the single sort of most effective, most high-profile initiative that we've taken as a company to bring people in, and also to really educate and enlighten our managers to the sort of depth of talent that is out there from in people who maybe aren't necessarily coming the traditional sort of Oxbridge white middle class route.
A lot of what we work on is ideas, and I think that if you get more people in, different people in, you kind of widen the pool of ideas that we have to draw from, and I think that can only be a good thing. I would definitely recommend the Pearson Summer Internship.
Well, I'm glad to say the only cups of coffee I've ever made were for myself. From the very beginning, you are part of I would say, professional outfit.
The one thing that stands out about the Pearson Internship Programme is that each intern gets a dedicated project that needs to be started and completed by the end of the internship. Now, by putting them under some kind of pressure and a project to deliver, they were then able to learn new skills. More importantly, realise the skills that they already had but hadn't yet used.
You know, what we've done, I think, is to really make people comfortable with a much wider range of colleagues, and that's been incredibly helpful, I think, both for the sort of dynamism of the business and the levels of creativity and the levels of openness.